Hi, I'm Amy Zentz, and I'm a writer, a singer, a blogger, a broadcaster, a teacher, and a comic. And I'm also a podcaster, and I've just noticed that I get more response when I post YouTubes than when I put up my pod show. If you go to crazyserial.blogspot.com, you see that right there? Yes. You can click on an audio feed which will read to you. I'm going to read to you live and in person on YouTube, so you can just plug in your iPod or whatever, or turn on your computer, and I will read to you. And if you're learning English, this might help. I publish this serial once a week, each Friday, and you can hear part 2 next Friday. Here is part 1, Bitey Poodle's Vices. Bitey Poodle liked to take bribes. In fact, he would encourage them any way that he could. He would walk into a bar room and start looking for trouble. He might embarrass a feline on the path to his perch at the bar. He would try and mount her in public, and the bartender would call him over to offer him a piece of chicken to divert his interest. Bitey didn't mind causing a scene if it gave him a reward. Bitey knew wherever he went, he would arouse either sympathy or jealousy by his good looks. He was adorable to look at. He always made sure he got well groomed on the third Monday of every month. He had a standing appointment at Jack Russell's dog salon on 5th and Main. He made efforts each morning to wash and preen himself. Bitey Poodle was a lover and a fighter. Most of all, Bitey Poodle loved to gamble. He would bet on just about anything he could. He usually won by hook or by crook, mostly by crook. He tried to be adorable if it meant getting the affection he craved. But if things weren't going his way, he walked, or sometimes just ran away. Underneath his curly fur and pompadour, Bitey Poodle was a coward. He just never tried to let it show. Bitey had a close circle of ne'er-do-well friends he liked to torment or cajole, but really Bitey Poodle was a loner most of the time. A loner who tried to act sociable. Really, like all misfits and mischief makers, Bitey Poodle was his own best friend. One day, Bitey decided he might go over to the park and see if there might be some cute female canines he could impress. He went over to the Central Pines, an open green the size of 2 football fields with a bandstand at one end and a parking lot at the other. He noticed 2 females engaged in quiet conversation beside a sad-looking, overgrown pine tree. One of the dogs was a blonde female retriever named Bess. The other was a skinny greyhound named Lorraine. They were obviously in deep conversation. Bitey thought he might see if he could chat them up and perhaps ask them if they might want to go for ice cream. The blonde glanced over at Bitey, and she nudged her friend, the greyhound, to get moving. "He's coming over here. We don't want to talk to him." The 2 dogs began to walk away from Bitey. "Hey, girls!" The canine gals ignored Bitey. "You think you could just walk away from me?" barked Bitey, as he insisted on being irritating. The dogs just kept politely walking away from Bitey. "Stop! Stop!" All of a sudden, without a moment's hesitation, the 2 dogs turned on Bitey. "What part of no don't you understand?" growled Bess Retriever. "Yes," agreed Lorraine Greyhound. "Why don't you mind your own business, mister?" Bitey shied away in astonishment. "I just wanted to ask you what time it was, no harm intended," Bitey remarked sheepishly. Suddenly a pang of pleasure raced through Bess. What a handsome dog, she thought. He even wears bangs. As if Bitey could sense the attraction in Bess's eyes, he backed off. Lorraine sensed the 2 were staring at each other and broke the silence with a bark. "We have to get to our criminal law class now, Bess, or we'll be late." Bitey could not believe his ears. "You mean you 2 are studying to be police officers?" Bess, with a certain amount of pride building in her chest, said, "Yes, we are attending the Do-Gooders Police Academy, so we need to get along. See you again?" Bitey dropped his jaw. He started to pant. Yeah, sure. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 unported license. This is part of a serial. A serial is a strange storytelling device to get readers interested. I hope to carry on this centuries-old tradition, and join me again next week for part 2 of Bitey Poodle's Vices. This is the author, Amy Zentz, Amalia Zentz. Till next time, so long.